Gentlemen, this question is directed for both of you actually, but it comes from something Manning said earlier today. You said, just pick one thing. Just pick one thing and pour your drive into it. I guess, what can you do if you've been on that path for a while, but suddenly life puts you in positions where you start realizing that you have the ability and the skill for another thing that's not exactly what you've been pouring your time for so long, but you don't want to let it go? How is there's anything that you can apply to make that pivotal change to say, well, even though I love this and I put a lot into it, but I'm realizing that I'm actually as good or better at this other thing. How can you, or is there anything that you can apply to make that
Go for it.
shift?
So the first question is, how long is long? Like for a while, or how long is a while?
I would say over a decade.
Okay. That's some time. That is a long time. And I can relate to that because I was a personal trainer for over a decade. And then I had to make, in order to take myself to another level, I had to let go. I was the top personal trainer in Miami. I was training thousands of professional athletes. I was making $500 an hour. Like, that's kind of hard to let go. You know what I mean? Like, every time I was thinking about letting it go, I was like, man, I'm American. Bang! Like, you know, money. And at that time, it became Ross, kind of easy money, because it's like, once you've been doing it that long, it's like you can do it in your sleep. But the only way for me to take my career and take my brand to the next level, to think beyond hourly and think millions and think, that way, is I had to stop. I had to say no. I had to become a CEO, and I had to start teaching others to create systems and procedures to create little Mannings and other trainers to do what I do in order for me to go on and do bigger and better things. And it's not that I don't like training. In fact, I still have a few clients, and one being my wife. And so every time I'm in it, and Ross will tell you, I can't shut up when I see him training his athletes. I start chiming in and like, yo, fix your posture, So I mean, I still have it in me, and I still know I'm good at it, but I think that my purpose was beyond that. So that would be my answer from my experience.
I don't disagree with you. I think that, so first of all, the first thing, are they like two businesses where in both situations you can make money not directly correlated to your time invested? Meaning like, so the goal with any entrepreneur is to remove like their input from like the output directly. Meaning like, if I put in 1 hour of my time, I make so much money. Are both options sort of like the same amount of leverage where you can put in 1 hour of your time and make unlimited money? Or is the first option more like his, where he can only have $500 per hour and it's good, but technically there's a cap on how many hours you can put in? Does that make sense?
That makes sense. And it would be that option. There's a cap.
Yeah.
Current. But personally, I'm always finding myself, I guess people around work and my day by day, they come up to me, they ask me,
Well, be specific. I mean, that helps. What's the second
like
thing?
how to do this, and people, I found myself that people that don't know me for a very long time, they open up to me with very dark secrets, and they tell me things that I'm like, why are you telling me?
Are you a therapist? I was going to say, you want to be a therapist? Is that where you're going with this?
I don't know, but
So what do you do? What's your job?
I've been pursuing music for a very long time, and I've been in and out of it because, life drags you out, but then you can go back into it. But along my path, on my regular day-by-day interactions, work, whatever, a lot of coworkers, friends, they're constantly sharing me like, hey, I'm going through this. And they go with this whole story of what they're going through, like I have the secret to solve it.
Yeah.
And I find myself in that position a lot. So, and I like it. I like it to say some things and make them say, wow, that's exactly what I needed to hear. But I've been pursuing music for so long that I really feel like I want to hit a particular milestone before I shift into something else. I feel like I haven't maybe I tell you more of what I have accomplished and you say, dude, you're ready to just shift to another thing. Just like you said, you feel like you haven't accomplished anything, but you have. So I guess that's where my question came from.
Yeah, that's a good, so the easy answer is for me to say something like, well, what you should do in your life is, there's this concept called ikigai. It's a popular concept and it's a Japanese, yeah. And basically, if you look at a visual, it's like these circles, and each circle has like what you're good at, what you can monetize, what the market needs, what you're passionate about. I think that's more or less what it is. And what you should do is you draw a Venn diagram, all these circles overlap at one point, and what you should do is where all these circles overlap. That's the easy answer. It's a lot harder to apply in real life when there's like two things that you could potentially pursue that you are equally as interested in. I would say that you could be successful at both. I think that's actually the real answer. You could be successful at both. I think that between option one or option two, think of the business that has the highest potential upside and most potential leverage. So if you're a musician, I don't know anything about musicians, but if you're a musician and you make money by like Spotify streams or getting booked to play concerts, and you see that over the past 10 years, you're making like every single year 5% more, and you see the growth trajectory, and you see it going in the right direction, and you're like, hey, if I just play X more shows, I see the growth on Instagram, and then I'm getting bigger gigs, and like I see the parts coming together, then you can kind of map out where your career is going to go to a degree. If you feel like you're putting everything and you're throwing, your head against the wall and you're doing the same thing, and the things that were working 5 years ago are no longer working, and your streams are going down, and you're like, unless I reinvent myself, I actually see myself going to zero, then that would be a signal that, okay, so let me try and think of something that maybe there's a better market for it. Or maybe how I show up, I'm more comfortable showing up as somebody who does therapy, or I understand why people need help, so I'm going to put together like self-help content, and maybe I'm going to talk about ideas that can help people get through very difficult times. And that's something I understand very well. And now I see the opportunity because I look at like Mel Robbins and Jay Shetty, and I can write a book and I can put out a whole bunch of content, and I put out a couple reels and they like do like 10x the amount of views than my music content does. And I'm like, shit, there's a signal from the universe. Okay, so to test this out at scale, how do I again commit to it for a long enough period of time where I don't kill the thing that's making me money now, but I can sort of get a little bit of feeling from the market as if this new business idea is going to work, and then I would start to carve out time in my day to test, knowing that it still will take time. But I think the goal is to look for signals of momentum and signals of growth, and if you can't find those, that's when you have to either disrupt yourself and do something new with your music, or disrupt yourself in some other way.
Also, are you a writer?
I am.
So another thing is combining them.
That's true too.
So if you're listening to people and the things you're saying is helping them, then you can start writing songs about those experiences. And then actually now you're not helping that one person, you're helping the world going through the same things that they're going through.
Isn't like Taylor Swift's music better when she breaks up? 100%. Yeah. See, I know. Well,
actually, yeah, all artists, most of the time, their first album is their best album because it was when they were the hungriest and down and out or whatever.
Maybe that's the reinvention.
Rap artist.
Maybe that's the reinvention. Maybe you don't even have to switch.
You should start taking on alter egos of all these people's shit problems they have and start writing. It's like, you might be becoming a country singer.
I love it.
Yeah.